when the varroa first come out and they killed all our bees, that was a disaster year. We had no pollination and the yield was just hopeless, absolutely hopeless.
In June of 2022, the Hunter Valley region of New South Wales faced against a global honeybee crisis. The Varroa mite, a tiny parasite which feeds on honeybees and spreads deadly viruses, began to spread it across the Hunter.
So we just come around to the entrance. So I've already had a look. There was bees flying in and out. So I know there's a bit of activity. I've just given them a little smoke.
To combat this threat, government authorities called for a highly aggressive strategy to cull mass amounts of both managed and wild bee populations. Entire hives were burned, and it feels as though now that bees have since vanished from the fabric of everyday life. I met with some of the local farmers and beekeepers here to get their perspectives.
Yeah, Nebo is just a little family-run business. We grow a wide variety of vegetables. When they killed all the bees, that was quite, I don't know if it was the right thing to do, but I suppose they thought it was at the time, but it didn't work, and now we're left with, a shortage of bees. So without them, there's sort of no farming. We have to change what we're going to do or stop doing it.
My husband and I have been doing farming here for a few years. We produce organic garlic, rhubarb and asparagus in the season, as well as cut flowers, but we also do honey. So we keep our bees naturally. We have a lot more plants going to seed than we did when the bees were eradicated for those couple of years. So that's definitely been a plus. We grew up with bees, and back in the 80s my dad could harvest honey and just leave the boxes. There was no small hive beetle and no varroa, so it was much easier. You could almost be a little bit of a cowboy keeping bees, but now it's a lot more care is needed.
I have a company called Camelot Valley Farm, so I'm a beekeeper. So bees are the business really. So I come here each market to sell my wares. With the varroa mite, when it first was introduced, we lost 20 hives in the eradication process. So it basically shut us down overnight.
So Slow Food, we are part of an international movement that makes sure that everyone has the right to good, clean and fair food. It's supporting the local food system. So bees and all of that are part of the pollination and part of the mix of how we solve the problems in the food system and bring it to the community.
I'm on the committee. I'm one of the volunteers. I helped set up this market. I make all the relishes. I work in our food rescue kitchen, and I help them making their executive decisions. And with the work that Slow Food are doing, we are bringing bees back to the region, and I now see bees, European honeybees, in my garden now. But it is a concern, there's a lot of mite, but we need groups like Slow Food to be doing what they're doing.
Yeah, of course.
And experts like Chrissy with her training. Yeah. To make the situation better.
If bees disappeared, I personally feel we'd struggle with pollination because natives don't pollinate everything. There's certain things that we would lose.
Our farmers are slowly adapting, but it's a major concern because we have longer periods of really hot weather, and then when we have rain events, we are flooded for days on end. So it's a real challenge for farmers. But I think farmers are responding. They're aware that this is a problem.
I'm concerned worldwide for bees with our use of pesticides, but with groups like Slow Food and other groups working towards improving the situation, I think we have to be optimistic that we will find a way to beat this disease. We're looking, what they're doing in the rest of the world, and we'll learn from there. And so, concerned, but we've got to stay hopeful and optimistic. Yeah.
So this is our worker brood. So you see how that is flat and level as opposed to the drone brood that was all lumpy.
But these guys do all the work, make the honey, help the queen.
So you're better off managing
so that's,
them in a capacity that...
They're 2 to 3 days old, those larvae. Wow. Yeah.
I've grown up with bees. We've always had bees in the family, and my father and my grandfather had bees, and then back further. And I've always found being around bees really consoling, except if you get stung, if you've stirred them up for some reason. But I was doing a really big work project, and it was very complicated. And I remember whenever I was really stuck, I'd just go up to the family bee yard. I was living back with my parents at that point, and I had a little chair, just a low chair, just amongst the bees. It was a different spot to here. And I'd sit there and I'd actually just talk to them, and I'd just tell them, when something's too complicated to try and explain to a friend or a colleague or something. But I felt like with the bees I could just express all of this, and just being in this environment where you're just hearing the hum and you've got that beautiful smell of the honey being made, and you just get into this zone.
Yeah, well, I just think it's really incredible how, if you think of all those plants out there and their roots in the ground and their relationship to the seasons, and when the rain falls, they're drawing that up, and then the sap's flowing, and then it all culminates in their flowering, and then the bees are there, and they're whatever is happening in the greater surroundings, they just capture the essence of that and refine it into this miraculous, pure, amazing, healthy substance. But they're also, when they're going about their work, they're performing this completely vital role in nature, which is fertilizing everything, carrying pollen from one flower to another flower, or one plant to another plant, and doing this fertilization, which creates rebirth. It completes the cycle of the many species of plants.
It's just a detection method. It doesn't treat them in any way, shape or form.
And you are destroying the brood.
Yeah, you destroy the brood in the process, but I mean they've got plenty, so. Mites.
Are they obvious?
Yeah.
But they like
I'll pass this around for you. You can have a bit of a look. So because the Varroa treatment's gone in recently, our numbers are extremely low, which is good. But there's definitely a little juvenile one that I can see in there. But I'll pass this around. You can have a little look and see if you can spot it.
So without healthy bees, and without people that work with bees, and the whole community and society conscious of looking after bees, the potential is there for the whole thing to kind of grind to a halt, and most of the foods that particularly Western cultures rely on would not continue in their life, in their fertility cycle, without the help of bees, and therefore we would all suffer greatly. So it's in all of our interest to look after bees to the absolute best of our ability.
Although the bees are slowly returning, ensuring their survival is a daily struggle. Our commitment to protecting bees in our ecosystem can't fade. The bee crisis is not only a local catastrophe, but a mirror to a world facing collapse. The silence of the hive.
Oh, they keep going backwards. You can't keep going. We won't be doing any pumpkin or watermelon or anything that requires pollination from a bee. It's pointless. Like if they keep declining and going backwards, and you've got no pollination, to expense outlay to get your crop started and then find out there's no return at the end, you can't keep doing that. So no bees, no farming.
Save the bees.